Hello there! Greetings everybody, my name is Saeed. I am an online English language teacher, and this is another video episode from the series of lessons devoted to the vocabulary for the IELTS speaking section. And this is the lesson which will cover vocabulary for the topic of towns and cities. Alright, the overall lesson number 14 is on your screen, my friends, on the screen of a computer or a telephone or a TV. I don't know like how you guys are watching me, but I'm very glad that you are here and you are learning. That's amazing. So in this lesson, as I have already said, we're going to talk about what to say if you are to express the general opinions, for example, about your, let's say, the neighborhood where you live in. Sometimes they may also ask about some favorite place to go or something popular among tourists, if the city or town is popular among tourists in general. And also the vocabulary in this lesson will be very helpful when an examiner can ask, probably will if the topic pops up on the real test, about the urban problems or anything serious, on the speaking part 3. Okay, so pay a specific attention at the expressions and words that are highlighted in yellow, orange color, because those are the gist, the essence of the lesson. So we are not going to be wasting another second, and let's go to the speaking part 1. So here we are, part 1 style questions. And the first question that opens our hit parade is this: what is it like where you live? It's a great question. By the way, I was asked this very question on my real IELTS speaking, on which I have got a 9. Okay, you didn't hear that. It was just a thought out loud. So, Christiane, a girl, is giving her opinion on this question. I live in a residential area of a busy town in the south of Spain. We have all the facilities you need. Good public transport, a good shopping center. It's quite nice. Question number 2. Do you like living in the city? Andrea is giving his or her opinion. Yes, I do. I like going out with my friends, and there are lots of lively bars and restaurants within walking distance of my apartment. I'm a bit of a culture vulture, and it's really great to have access to art exhibitions and that kind of things. And question number 3. Do you get many tourists visiting your area? Mandy, that's the girl's name, is giving her answer. No, not really. I live in the inner city, and the area is a little run down. It's basically a lot of high-rise flats, and many of the shops are boarded up, so nothing to interest tourists really. Okay. Well, we're done with the speaking part 1 questions, and I'm sure you found some fantastic expressions on this slide. And now we will check out the cue card from the speaking part 2. Okay, I've barely said part 1. Let's go to the part 2. So here's the cue card. Describe an interesting town or city in your country that visitors might enjoy. You should say what the place is called, where the place is, what the facilities are, and say why the visitors might enjoy going there. Okay guys, as always, please feel free to pause the video in this very moment. Give yourself some 60 seconds to write out any ideas or anything that can come to your head regarding this question. And additionally to that, 2 minutes to act out just like the Oscar-winning actor, but pretending to be the IELTS test taker. Give the answer to this question, imagining yourself sitting in the middle of the test room talking to the examiner face to face if it is a real life exam, or maybe looking at the camera, and talking to the person through the internet connection. Okay? And when you're done, you may resume playing to check the answer and compare yours with the proposed Band 9 variant. Okay? And we're going to check it out in a second. So here we are. The girl named Martina is giving what a giant speech. Is giving a big answer here, okay? Let's check it out. Anyone who comes to my country really should spend some time in Barcelona. It's a beautiful place. It's not what you would call a sprawling city. It's quite compact really, and you could walk across the city in a couple of hours. But there is no need to do that as we have a fantastic public transport system, so it's easy to get around. There are various districts, all with their own character. You have the upmarket shops in the city center. You'll find lots of chain stores you'll recognize from your own country, but also local brands as well. So we have the narrow streets in the Gothic district with lots of fashionable boutiques and tourist attractions. There is the Olympic area and the beaches along the coast. And dotted around the city are some lovely public spaces, parks, squares in the city center, and on the outskirts of Barcelona where people relax with their friends and family. And, of course, pavement cafes everywhere. All that and some great historical places of interest. So a great destination for tourists. Wow, I think this girl probably can work somewhere in the touristic advertising sector. Like, welcome to Barcelona. That will be a very interesting ad to watch. All right? And lots of great expressions too. So, part 3 is waiting. Part 3 style questions. Question number 1. What are the advantages of living in a city or a big town? Carrie is giving her answer. I think it's having access to local facilities, really. Local shops as well as access to larger shopping malls in the city center. And if you are well off, you can afford to live in the suburbs away from the busy traffic. Question number 2. In your experience, are city centers usually attractive places? Mary thinks the following way. Some can be, yes, especially those with historical interest. But sometimes they're full of ugly office blocks, multi-story car parks, and residents living in poor housing. It depends on the city, doesn't it? What a great way to finish the answer by striking the question back to the examiner. I did it like 2 times on my speaking test, and I actually asked him questions when he was like asking me something. Especially like the fact that I originally come from Uzbekistan and I live in Russia, so the examiner was like, describe me like your country. And I was like, considering the fact that I'm an expat, like, from Uzbekistan living in Russia, what country do you want me to describe? My motherland or my current residence? And he was like, oh, he did not expect that. Because usually students would just, just pour ahead and try to, give the best answer as possible. But, I kind of decided to have a little chit chat with the guy. Well, okay. So, question number 3. What are some of the challenges facing towns and cities? Penny is giving her answer. I suppose traffic congestion is a major problem, and the growth in out-of-town supermarkets and retail parks means lots of town center shops are closing down, plus a shortage of good quality housing. I think these are the major challenges. Alright guys, we are done with all of the questions from all of the parts of the speaking section. Let's check out the vocabulary. Okay, so the first phrase is boarded up shops. That would be the shops that are no longer doing business, like closed shops, for example. Chain stores stands for the well-known shops, the brands with shops in multiple cities. So that would be, for example, if you go to London, you may see something which is called Harrods. Well, Harrods, that would be the major chain store in the UK. You can find the branches of this place all over. Or if you go to the US, you might encounter probably one of the most famous store brand in America, which is called the Walmart, right? Okay, so to close down stands for to stop doing business. Fashionable boutiques, from the French word boutique, means fashionable clothes shops. All right? Boutique. Okay, to get around stands for to travel around. High-rise flats, that would be the multi-story apartments. Inner city, this is the central part of a city where people live and where the conditions are often quite poor. In the suburbs means the outer area of large towns and cities where people live. Lively bars or lively restaurants, these are bars or restaurants with a good atmosphere. Local facilities mean local buildings or services serving the public. Multi-story car parks. Car parks on several floors. Office block, that would be a large building that contains offices. Out-of-town shopping center or retail park, that would be the large shopping centers outside of the town or city. Pavement cafe, these are cafes with tables outside on the pavement. Places of interest. This expression stands for the buildings that have a particular interest for visitors. Like popular among tourists, for example. Poor housing would be the housing that is not in a good condition. Public spaces mean the areas in the town or city that are open to the public. Public transport system, as it can be known from the word, that would be the public vehicles such as buses and trains that operate at regular time on fixed routes. Residential area, that would be an area where people live, from the word resident, like dweller, the person who is living. Rundown means old and of a poor standard. Shopping center, this is the area consisting of multiple shops. Shopping malls, large indoor shopping centers. Sprawling city, that would be a city that has grown over time and which covers a wide area. We have three final expressions here. Tourist attraction, that would be a place of interest to tourists. Traffic congestion, heavy traffic making it difficult to move around a town or city. And finally, upmarket shops, that would be expensive, fashionable shops. Well, my friends, thank you so much for staying with me. It was a pleasure to give you this excellent, I hope, excellent lesson, and I will be very happy to see you in the next upcoming episodes. Best of luck with your IELTS preparation and expanding your vocabulary. It was really a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye.